Lisa will be right with us. She had some stuff happening with her sound, so we're working on that. And my bangs, I don't know what's going on here. Uh, anyway, oh, I forget it's mirrored. Anyway, um, I hope you're all having a fabulous Saturday so far, and I'm glad you're with us. Oh, hey, Sonia. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Lexi. Oh, there's Lisa. We're going to add
Yes, and I
her.
look terrible, so
Oh, you're fine.
let's get it
Oh,
adjusted.
yeah, I'm so glad you're all here. I actually, that live I did at the retreat on the last day, I looked terrible. I was tired. I had been arting hard for 2 days because it was like from morning until night, and it was pretty late in the day. And hi, Charmaine. Hi, Laura. Somebody even messaged me and said, "Boy, girl, you look tired." So I thought I should let you know that I don't always look like that. And here's my face. Hi, Tina. Welcome. Oh, not really. It's cloudy here, Sonia. So that eclipse was uh unseen here. It just kind of got dark. It was cool though. Usually I would be out doing that. So we're gonna do something fun today. I'm gonna finish up the box from last time. But let me get this out of the way first. Oh, and I'll be sharing what we made, the projects, and a little bit about our event that we had this last weekend as well. Hi, Sherry. How you doing? So if you are new here, thank you for joining us. And please like, subscribe, and hit the bell. It really helps, and we appreciate it so much. And this is Lisa, my lovely co-host here, my trusty sidekick. We're going to make y'all laugh, I hope. And I hope you brought your funny bone and your
Definitely
favorite
make you
drink.
laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, Lexi, it was a last minute life. I mean, I knew I was going to do it, but I didn't have time to go and fluff my face or my hair or any of that stuff. And I hadn't really done that morning because I got up and just started. We didn't have a whole lot of time to work on our gel plates, and it was scheduled kind of during our private time between projects. But the projects were so fun, we ended up doing them longer than we thought we would. So we really didn't gel plate a whole lot. And when I got up that morning after really not sleeping, I got out my gel plate and started just making some papers immediately so I would have something to bind in the book. Oh, you cheated and watched it on the NASA website. Maybe I'll have to go do that. Anyway, I'm going to go topside now, and we'll finish the box, and then I'll do a little project share. It should be a lot of fun. And let me change my camera. I don't usually do all this wicky wacky camera changey business, so we'll see. Wiki wacky camera changey business. So let me take away my keyboard, put it down here. I'm a little shiny here. So I got a new, do you want to see this? Because I got a new one out. But let's make a mess on it, shall we? Okay, so we started I'm going to go full screen real quick. And then because there's going to be a few times where I'm definitely going to have to mute my my volume. And when I do that, then we will pop over to Lisa's desk and see what she's working on. She's going to work on some little things there. What are you working on?
I've just been putting some bits and pieces together. Most of them are fall themed or Halloween.
Awesome. And I love what you have going on there too. Hi, Colleen. I'm glad you're here.
Hi, Colleen. Hello,
Hi,
Julie.
It was actually Colleen that messaged me and said I looked tired. Colleen, I showed my face so you all knew I didn't usually look like a wreck like that. Of course, I didn't print much, but my face after I've slept I guess. Right.
We're
Yeah.
still on
Okay.
split screen.
No. Yep. You want to show them real quick? Show them what you're doing.
Yeah, I can show them what I've been working on. I've got just
Oh, it's so cool.
some
That
fun
is,
stuff.
guys, the house in the middle is perfect. Oh, it's cool. That looks like an ear to me. Oh, Colleen. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I actually was sick when I got back. For 3 days, I did nothing. I was very sick. Oh, that's
Hi,
awesome.
Trish.
Hey, Colleen, or hey, Trish. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Julie. Not many lives happening. Oh, well, we're glad you're here. That is so cool. Did you draw that?
No, that's Darcy's stencil that comes with the squirrels.
That's awesome. Hey, Darcy. Speaking of Darcy, there she is.
Hey, Darcy.
I'm glad you're here. We have Eddie in the house too. Uh-oh. That's cool. Are you going to put something on that or leave it like it is?
Thanks, Eddie. We got happy hands already.
Pink hand waving, pink hand waving.
Darcy, I'm glad you got your mail. I was hoping it would get there today.
Did you send out some happy mail?
I did.
Aww.
I did. You know, she's doing that celestial journal for Mariah.
Yeah.
And I had pages of blue. It was like galaxy dot to dot that Judy P had sent me. So I shared some for that journal.
Oh. She's going to come up today in our thing too, because I actually did a project dedicated to her while we were at the retreat. So your hands are covered in paint, Ben Jelper. Oh, I am happiest if my hands are covered in paint. Raise your hand if that is, raise your painted hand, your inky hand if that is true.
I only have one color right now.
You just wait. We're going to get there. Okay. I'm going to go full screen and share this. Okay. So we started this last time. Let me make sure I'm nice and maybe straight right there. So I actually, after the stream last time, and it's a lunchbox, I had crackled it first. I put, hey, Chris, welcome. I had crackled it first, put some paint on it, put more crackle on it, more paint, and then we chose and glued the images on last time. So the work I did on it after, because I was really into what I was doing, I added this little stencil here and there, this piece right here, this, the little bird and the halo, and then I rusted all around. Oh, so it's rusted. It's crackled. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, it's so good. It makes me happy. Hand pink waving in the finger stains. That's awesome. So I didn't say hi to Evie. Hi, Evie. If Evie is here. Because I said hi to Trish. Okay, so I have a couple more little things that I kind of want to put on this today. And let me get down the reason why I did this lunchbox. It's not just storage, but it has to do with, and oh, one more step on this that's going to bring it to life. Something that I stole from the house when I moved out as a kid, when I was 17, was this box. And my mom had this, I think it was in the bathroom at the time. It's kind of dusty right now, but I have had this.
Hi, Tina.
All my life. Hi, Tina. Hi, Patrice. I'm glad you're here, Patrice. We're going to talk about the retreat. So this is just so cool. We don't know who did it. My mom probably got it at a yard sale. It is chipped. It is cracked. It is dusty right now because it's on the top shelf. And I just keep like super special stuff in it. I mean, paint's chipping off. It's got rust. It's so special to me. And I wanted to make a companion for it. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. And it's only got 2 steps left here. Hi, Maya. Maya was also at the retreat with us. It was so much fun.
Hi, Maya.
Filled our cups, right, Lexi? Okay, so one thing I am going to do, and when I have to turn my heat tool on because of this, I'm going to mute and we're going to go over to Lisa at those times. But I want to add some more kind of sparkle. And that'll be in the way of an embossing pen with embossing powder. I like to use materials in unusual ways. So it was, I mean, years ago, I discovered I had never used embossing powder. I was not a card maker. It came in a craft lot and it was like this stuff right here. And this is like that chunky stuff. I was so excited with what this did. I almost wet myself. I had my husband come in. He was excited. I was excited, making little gold puddles of stuff. I know it's crazy. I know. You guys can laugh at me. It's all right. Hi, Susan. Oh, glad you're here. Glad to have you lurking. That's okay. Oh, it's special that you're here, Susan. Thank you. So I had no idea about embossing powder. It was just so fun to me. So it was that year that I did the bottle for my husband that looked like it had been in a shipwreck. And I used this all over it for fun texture. So I definitely use products in unusual ways, mostly because I don't know what they were for, or because I didn't do the original thing that they were made for. And I go, what can I do with that? So using an embossing pen on this, I could probably use like a glue, whatever. It's totally dry right now. It's only going to stick to the wet parts. So you can probably use anything. I mean, I've used, with this stuff especially, I have used Elmer's glue and it bubbles up really nicely. I've used all kinds of weird things to stick the embossing powder. So I did get them out today, and I think I'm going to use copper. I'll show you my party mix here that I've used on mixed media assemblage projects and stuff. And then I also have this weird spider gel, and it's for nails, and it's really sticky and stringy. And I thought, I bet that would be really good in art projects, but even better for embossing powder because it's like stringy, I don't know if I'll try that today, but I thought I would mention that. It might be a nice option because you can get it for $1 and it does fun things. Anyway, and that's my story. It was a lot of story. Okay, I'm going to read some comments.
Sonia is talking about the Louise Heinzel leaves. She said she had ordered the stuff.
I did too.
To do some embossed leaves.
I was going to show you guys this today. Yes, absolutely. Oh, it was because I talked about it the other day, huh? Where you use
Karma. Karma's coming to visit.
Pardon?
I said Karma's coming to visit. You thought about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was just doing that before we went live with Lisa.
Are you
actually? But using it in a different way. I ordered the the matte photo paper, and I ordered the 3 of the sprays, and I had just happened to get a little craft iron for my wax for the encaustics. So, okay, so I'm going to do this here. Got my little embossing pen, but I could use anything. But I just want to add a few little details that give it some extra interest, because there's lots of interest here, but I think it's always nice when I look at something and I want to lean in and see the cracks and see all the different things happening. They just make me happy. So in doodling, I'm going to have to put this on a piece of paper. I'm going to make her earring more gold. I'm going to go around this little cork 8 I have here. Hopefully it won't melt. I want to do a bit of, bit of this, and while I'm at it, I'm going to make that into some leaves, just back and forth. If you can't see it in the light, I mean, you need to see the shiny to make it work, because clearly it's invisible. So if you do this and you're drawing, just make sure you've got it in a under a light so you can see what's going on. This is where the glue might come in handy too. Oh, there's some leaves. Okay. And then, I love this. It makes me happy. Giving me joy. All right. I'm going to see how that looks and see if it needs more on this side. Let's get it on a piece of cardstock or a piece of paper. Clean. This will work.
When you're holding the box at an angle, it really shows up well where you're placing that.
Does it? Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, if you hold it, it was doing best with the holding up the left corner.
I feel like it needs
on your left.
I love it. It's a bigger piece of paper underneath because the box is so big. So I'm going to grab a folder. So I have an idea we were just talking about this and I was doing some spraying on my desk and all I did was put a folder, wanted to try that, and put some clips right in the corners. And I sprayed right on my desk without getting too much overspray that way. So it might be an option in the future if you haven't tried that yet. And maybe you have tried it and it's not a new idea. I have a spray box, but sometimes you just want to be on your desk. Okay, so I'm going to use this metallic copper this time. We'll see what happens.
Sonia, thank you for finding that for us.
What was that?
The Louise Heinzel, where she did the leaves.
Oh, yeah. It was a good video, and I like it when our products behave differently or have another effect. That's like a dual use product to me. I just have to remember where I put it all. Now, I would want to make sure it's totally dry before I did something like this, and this is really dry. So let's see. Nice thing about the, you see what happened here? It doesn't want to. Oh, there it is. Sorry.
Oh, Maya, don't feel bad if you sprayed your dog. I sprayed my laptop computer and now it's acting funny. And I've got to take it downstairs so it can be updated and cleaned up and all that good stuff. But I also have to get the metallic spray off of it before I take it down there, or I'm getting them put on the naughty list. I will be going to the
nerds. Husband's going to have at it. She'll have, when she shows up with a black eye tomorrow.
No, he would not hit me. Never.
No. And I used to work for domestic violence, so it isn't funny. I know. I grew up with that.
It's almost like I know when I go down there, I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna be told, oh, you shouldn't have done that, and I know I shouldn't have done it, but at the time I was having so much fun arting that I did not think about the consequences of my actions. Nor did I wear gloves. So, I mean, hey.
I never wear gloves.
It happens.
Yeah.
Me and spray, something's going to get somewhere it's not supposed to be. But it's like
Always.
going to the principal's office when I was a kid, you know. It's like I
I
know
can
I'm
do
gonna
this
get
with this girl for
in
forever.
trouble for not taking care of my stuff.
All right.
I
There
bet
we
your
go.
dog did give you a look, but hey, hopefully it was a sparkle.
So what color was the dog after? I just need to know.
Maya, what color did you put on the dog?
Yeah. Try this hack, gluing dried leaves and plants into a junk journal with this easy trick.
Hi, Martha.
Hey, Martha. Glad you're here. Okay, I'm going to turn my heat tool off. We're going to put Lisa on full screen. Or heat tool on, I'm sorry. Lisa goes full screen. And then me.
Laura said maybe the dog had a little bit of a punk look.
Yeah. Did you give it a mohawk after? Okay, I'm muting so I can use my heat tool.
Okay, what I've got here is I've got just a book page, and this is where I use my gel print plate, and I was working with the burgundy and the orange, which is the color combo. So I folded this page in half. I've got it glued in the middle, and I'm going to be using my bat stencil that came with my last PM Artist Studio order. And I'm just going to put some bats on it, and we'll make it battylicious. Let's see if this will work anyway. The little bat is cute. I've put it on a couple of things already, and I like it. It's very simple and easy to use. You know, it's funny you say that, Eddie, because the room that I'm in, when we were doing a remodel, we had the vent out of the bathroom. It was originally a vent and a heat lamp combo, which was popular during the time that our house was built. And we were replacing it, and we were having trouble finding something that fit that hole. So the hole was open. There was, you know, nothing between it and the attic. And we had a bat to get into this room. It had just been finished. The whole room was done, and my daughter come out of the room screaming. We had just got our furniture back in. There's a bat. There's a bat. Oh my God. You would have thought that, you know, there was an invasion of bats and they were swarming and everything else, because both girls just went crazy. They were squealing. Oh my God, we got bats in our house. But it was funny. So that's just going to be a simple something that I can add. It may show up in the journal that I'm working on right now for our curiosities or opposites. It does have a little room that you could use for writing. I've also, let's see if I can get this centered. This was one of my experiments with, I crinkled what I used on the gel plate, and then I put it on a piece of card that I've got cardstock that we had left over from our last conference. It was dated, so rather than throw it away, I'm trying to make use of it. It's really nice cardstock. So what I put on the front is a crinkled piece of tissue paper. I crinkled it up, and then I used the gel plate, and that gave me, you know, some nice texture on my plate. And I do have wrinkles in it as well, which don't really bother me, but I placed that directly over the front of the card, and you know, the colors that come through were pretty neat. I've also added with watercolor pencils. I have put a little bit more color, and then the quote and the photograph is from Graphic Fairies, some of their Halloween stuff. And then I did put some sparkle on it. Let's see if I can get it up to the technology to where you can see it. But I've got just some spray, some Lindy spray. I think it was Starburst. So I did this one, and then I've got this one that was done with a similar technique. Uh, Julie, yes, bats do carry diseases, unfortunately, but they have gotten into our house and our attic space. They degraded the screen that protected the insects from coming inside our upper attic space, and we had to have somebody to come in and do a evacuation. It started, we had them come in. We don't know how long they had been up there, but we heard them and we called and they came and looked, and there was like a whole family in our attic. But they got rid of them. They had to wait like 2 months. There's certain times of the year that you're not allowed to capture them because they are considered viable to the environment. And so you can only capture them or, try to evacuate them once a year. And because it was during the time that the babies would still be nursing, they had to wait a month. And then they came and they put some kind of contraption there that let them go out, but they couldn't come back in. Let's
I
see how
love
that's looking,
that.
Sharon.
Okay. So while you were still sharing, so I went ahead and got out a little gold and just put a few little spots. I put another circle around that. I got a little gold right in here, just a little sparkle. I feel like it needs something here. And I really don't like this. So I'm going to take it off. It was a sticker, a feather, but I'm going to have to replace that with something else. And I'm going to have to cut it off because it's underneath this frame right here. But I'll do that off camera.
Hi, Yolanda.
Hey, Yolanda. I'm glad
It's
you
so
made
glad to
it.
see so many people coming in. If you will, make sure you're hitting that like button. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe because we appreciate you being here and we want you to know when we're going to be streaming live.
That's so sweet of you. I have more gold on this side, so maybe I won't add any over here, but I'm not getting massive sparkle from that. So I might do it a little bit differently, actually.
What about maybe a chain around, maybe add a chain or something like that around her neckline?
Well, when I did this, I did a ring of copper and a ring of gold. So maybe what I'll do is make that like part of it. There's a frame on here that's made out of a map. But I definitely could do something there. I would like to get just some shine on there. Maybe what I need to do, because that last step is going to be to put the Old English on it, and it's really going to come to life. And you'll see it's my favorite part of every project is adding the Old English at the end because it changes it. And I know it's going to be richer and just more delicious in general. But I really wanted the embossing powder to work. I just think the pen is too small and I don't want to sit and heat forever,
Charmaine is saying, what about mica spray?
I could do that, but I actually got this in the mail. And I'm wondering, I haven't used it yet. It's the bright gold. Plus I have this out. And maybe I could use a little stencil on here. I mean, just to add some little touches. Even if it's a little
Do you have Carrie's rose stencil?
Oh, no, I do not. Thinking like something that is separate, kind of. Oh, how about this one? How about like that? That is a good one. And I want to see this actually. And
Oh
then
yeah.
we're going to play with the, it's pretty liquidy. So when you put something pretty liquidy on a stencil, it can just go under the stencil. So sometimes paint is the better option, but I wanted to see how magnificently sparkly this is. And let's just try it like on a wax style first to see how it shows up.
Sonia, I
Oh,
think everybody's
okay.
concerned about safety for Miriam, and thankfully she's
Yes.
been trying to post that she's up, let people know that she's okay. She is very appreciative of people checking in on her.
Been so
She
worried.
said she has never felt so loved in her life.
Oh,
Um, I just it gives me chills when I think about it.
I can't believe
I've
it.
never experienced anything like that, but what I do know is, my husband, his mother was a full Armenian, and her mother had to flee Turkey, and she
So
came here to the
scary.
States. But they had, the genocide had started, and her parents, her mother, made arrangements for her to marry a stranger here to get her in the country. So I can only imagine what they're going through. Just with the horrors of what I know of that situation, it kind of makes me feel like you just don't take for granted, your safety and your security. Do not take it for granted, because you
There's
never know when it's going to change.
a guy I watch. My Aunt Grace sends me the links. It's kind of a meditation health. Anyway, he was visiting Israel. He got there the night before, and he's Jewish himself, and he has family there, but he lives in the US, and he actually was visiting. He got up to breakfast, and all of that started happening at his hotel. Like it was down the road. So he actually got online to share kind of what was going on and to tell everybody he was safe. Well, that worked. Look at that. That's shiny. Woo! And he had a moment, a worldwide meditation for it, like a 10 minutes of thoughts
That's
and
awesome.
prayers. And I did that too, because it was alive. And it was just so, he was talking about, what it would be like to wake up in the morning, and be in the situation that he was in where the bombs are going off overhead, and it's just really scary. But he was also explaining about, the families that were being drugged from their house, and their children were being killed in front of them and tortured, and just imagine that, just picture that
Well,
while we are comfortable in our spaces here.
exactly.
And I mean,
Sharon, that's what
so scary.
Bill's Nana, he called her Nana. She said that, she remembered them coming and getting the father first. And that
So
they left
scary.
the boys, but then they came back for the boys. And by then they had already raided the house. I mean, they were people of reasonable
So
means.
scary.
They took all their jewelry. They took anything of
They're
value.
lucky they didn't kill him.
They were eating molded bread to survive. It was just very, very bad. But
Can't
I
imagine.
would listen to her tell, different things that she knew from firsthand experience. And then, we would talk about the things that happened after she was able to get out. And I mean, she lost contact with her mother. She never knew what happened to her. So,
Oh, that would
I mean,
so
but
that
but
would
it
be
meant so
terrible.
much to her, to the mother, that she wanted to make sure that she got her children out, the ones that were left.
Oh
She wanted
my
to make sure she got them to
gosh.
safety.
I cannot imagine that, and then wondering for the rest of your life, what,
Yeah,
is she
and
alive? What happened? Sorry, guys, this is such a deep subject. I know.
it,
I'm terribly
but
sorry.
it
It's
kind of just, it's an overflow though when you think about
Yeah.
it. You know, everybody's concerned.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Yolande. Thank you. Yeah, my heart bleeds for things like that. I can't imagine not helping my neighbor in need, you know? And how lucky are we? How lucky are we that we live here and that we wake up here? We were born here. Most of us, you know, how lucky. I can't even imagine. Anyway, yeah, the love of a mother. It is heartbreaking. Oh, Lisa left us. It was too sad for her. She had to go. She's crying. Sad. That's okay. She'll be right back. I'm sure I'll watch for her. So I'm thinking there's a lot of gold on this side. It doesn't need it as much, but I could, if I do go back in, it would be when I can use my heat tool for a longer period. Though on metal, it usually works right away. And maybe make some spikes on this, let it kind of bleed over, maybe kind of, do you see what this says, you guys? Please, no floozies in the jacuzzi. Sorry to change the subject. And you are right, ladies and gentlemen. We are quite blessed. We are. Hey, Julie, I've been watching the show Blue Healers, and I'm almost done with season 4, and I'm really sad that it only had 4 seasons. Please tell me that there was a second show that came after that with the same characters. Please tell me. So this is a rub-on transfer, some glasses. I'm going to keep the sides kind of, I mean, it is not simple. There's nothing simple about this at all. Because when you look up close, there's different colors and there's crackles and there's rust. And that's just sand that I mixed with paint. And I didn't get it all on the bottom yet. I was waiting for something to dry, I remember. But I just use my fingers, dab it on where I think I need it. But that's the bottom. It is really, really great right in here, if I do say so. I need a little bit of, I'm just adding some sparkle. So let's do the best step ever. Shall we do that? So what I've got here, you guys know about my love of Old English, and sometimes it takes a couple coats, and I have put one on. So it would even have been more dramatic had I not put the one on, but it does fade a little bit at first. So you gotta do it a couple times. You loved that show. It felt like more than 4 seasons. Well, it's like there's like some of this seasons have like 30 episodes. I was kind of surprised. Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay.
I use my phone. My daughter just said something with 7 attachments. She must be flying today. Or no, wait, they're at the fair. They're at the state fair. But I think it blew my phone's mind. Sorry.
Blew your phone's mind. Okay, so I've got a makeup sponge here that I just used for this. Hopefully my gold paint is dry. Do a little dabbing on and then I'll wipe it. Let it kind of seep in. Seriously, this is like the best step ever. And it'll lighten up just a little bit when it dries. This is what makes it look rich and brings out the crackles, and it just is the best. I love it. And if I could put it on everything, I would. And sometimes I'll try it because I'm like, what if? I mean, do you see how much richer it's making that look right there? See
It's
that?
gorgeous.
And like I said, couple coats sometimes. Look at those cracks right in there. Do you see can you guys see those crackles? I don't know how. On my screen, it's not very clear, so.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
we can see crackles.
Okay.
Tip it back just a little bit.
Look at that.
There you go.
And then if you want to do something like this on tin, and you do this, you might want to seal it after that, if you want it to have that high gloss effect. And I recommend the Dura Clear High Gloss for that reason. Or you can just use glue. It doesn't. Oh, sorry about the glare, guys.
Charmaine, she uses the Old English. She enjoys using that to make things have an aged look, and it's something that you can get just about at any store.
It's furniture polish.
Walmart, grocery store. It's actually for furniture. It's a furniture prep.
It's a scratch cover, basically. And my husband filled my stocking with it one year for Christmas because I love it so much. Because I was almost out. Because at that point I was doing a whole lot of furniture, aging and crackling, and So I told him I'm almost out of this, and then I started using it on. After he filled my stocking, I started using it on other things and saying, I wonder if that would work. And I think it is probably walnut stain, which is walnut crystals. And there's some sort of furniture oil in here, but it absorbs into your paper and gives it such a, let me get into an angle where you guys can see. There's such a richness to it. And it really does age things nicely.
Check Julie's chat.
What?
She said to check her last.
They did a total of 510 episodes, 13 seasons. Thank you so much, Julie. It only shows 4 in my Acorn, so maybe they just haven't released all of them yet. You know how they do them a few at a time? I seriously love that show so much.
Which show is it?
It's called Blue Healers. And it's an Australian show, and I've been watching it every night to go to sleep. And I'm starting to get sad because I get toward the end. I have a secret. You ready?
That's okay. You can have that secret.
Well, no, I have a secret. When I love a show like that, I often don't watch the last episode because I need them in my head to go on forever.
Oh.
So I don't say goodbye. I know it's weird. Like, I refuse to watch the last episode of many shows like The Big Bang Theory and Seinfeld. And
what about Cheers?
Things that I've loved. I don't remember. I think I watched all those on rerun, and they were always out of order. So I don't recall if I ever saw the last one. I get really sentimental. Do you do that too, Eddie? Oh my gosh.
Hey, Laura wants to know what crackle paste you prefer.
I just saw that. Was that the comment? Thank you for putting that in all caps. That always helps. Okay, so the crackle I put on here was just a sec.
Hey, Tracy.
And I just put it on really thick. Hi, Tracy. Let me get it off my cart here. I've got 2 different kinds. I do like, there's 2 different ways to do this. So Deco Art makes a good crackle like this. And what you have to do is put it on really thick. Thick as you can, because it's a liquid, it's liquidy. Of course, this one is old and I need to use it up, so it's a little thicker. But if you're doing something that's super 3D, then you use like a crackle paste like this is really good, but it does dry up fast, or it gets kind of gummy. And then you find yourself, so don't order 2 bottles like I did. Because the first one kind of got dried out before I could use it all. But it makes like a 3D texture. And with this stuff, you're going to want to put down your first coat of paint. or whatever, can be a gesso or whatever. And then you put, with a palette knife, you put this stuff on and you just spread it around where you want it. And then when you add the second coat of paint, because this gets sandwiched in between, what it does is it makes that paint crack apart as it dries. And don't use a heat tool. Let it do it on its own. It's great stuff. Another great one that I love, and especially in the gold, is the Nuvo Crackle Mousse. That is so good in gold. It was the only color I had too. I used all of it immediately. Good stuff, really good stuff. So, so there we are. And there's an oil in this, some sort of a probably walnut oil or something like that, along with the walnut crystals. But it's going to have to absorb, and it will absorb into your papers, which is fabulous because it keeps that aged look. It kind of tones things down, kind of blends them together. I just love it. I really do. And it won't be shiny when it dries. That's the oil in it. So that's that.
We used to use something that they had different colors, but the deco art, we used some of the stuff to antique with. It was a thin, very thin, usually mineral based. When we did ceramics, once you painted something, you would always, put some kind of,
like the glaze.
It wasn't a glaze. It was just you applied it with the brush, and it was real drippy. But you always went back and buffed it. But it always made your colors really, kind of blend together. It kind of anchored everything in the end.
Huh. I should do an experiment.
Trish, I hope you start feeling better. I'm right there with you with the rainy days. Get some
Trish,
rest.
Yeah, please rest and feel better. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day. And I would say that I'm really excited that the rain has started, guys. I hate to say. I love the rain. You know me. I should try this in encaustic because it's oil, and oil paint works in encaustic. And I bet I can get some pretty cool things happening as an experiment with this. I'm definitely going to do it. I have some downstairs. Okay, you guys ready to look at the goodies that we had made during our trip or our retreat? Let me have a drink of coffee first.
Yolanda, they had a very good time at the retreat. Everybody left with a full cup and a sense of accomplishment.
And full boxes too. But like I needed that. It was like going to a conference, where you get a self-help event, or I just felt so good when we left. I was tired and I was sick for days because I pushed myself pretty hard, but it was fabulous. It was so fun. Yeah, you need a retreat in the Midwest.
Maybe we need to do a retreat for us on the East Coast retreat.
Yeah, maybe you should host that or find a place to do that.
Well, probably getting it somewhere near Charlotte would be good because, most flights go into Charlotte. I mean, where I'm at, the closest airport is Greensboro, but the flights are a whole lot more expensive and you have to go through Charlotte anyway. But yeah.
Screen.
I mean, you've got Pinka. Let's see. We've got Carla.
Is Diane here?
Lynn.
Hi, Diane.
Trish, Evie. We're all reasonably close. So yeah, it's something that could be done.
The Society was a teen apocalyptic drama. Oh, okay. You're talking about a show. Looks like you guys had fun on the retreat. Diane, I didn't say hi to you. Tracy, hello, love. Oh, okay. Are you guys ready to see this? Are you ready?
We're ready.
Did I miss anybody in the hellos? In the how you do? Okay. So the first thing we did was go out and we went on a little walk and we collected goodies from around the property. And I brought paper bags, and we, in our paper bags, went out and collected sticks and leaves and anything we thought we could use for two different projects. One that I was doing, one that Susan was doing. So this is one of the things that we did, but I had taken something with me, and I don't know how it really ended up in my stuff. The last package from Judy P. She actually had enclosed this one bead. The rest was paper stuff, and this one bead falls out that she made. Excuse my hands now with the old English.
Hey.
So I actually made this for my friend Judy, with her memory. I have a bird for flying high and a bell because, an angel's wings. And this says, live for the moments you cannot put into words. So I actually made this one for Judy to remember her, and I'm going to put it on my mantle. It's got some moss, little pine cones, stick with some bark on it, some good stuff right there. So I'm going to put that aside. And then there's this one, and this one has a stone on it that came from Anthony. He shared some of his stones with us that he puts in the handles of the Barons. And he's in Mexico this week, by the way. It's really exciting. And then he shared some of his feathers with us too. But this one came out of his box. Susan actually supplied a lot of sari silk and some different feathers and things that we could use. And I had some bells with me. There's some of the little feathers. It was just a lot of fun, and they were intended to be mark making tools, but I could not bear to put paint on this. So they are. Maybe I should put a little paint on this for Judy, just on the ends. Might be cool, but they are just spirit sticks, mantle pieces, something to put in a vase, perhaps with an iridescent wing. Okay. And then I have a few more feathers to make some more from Anthony's collection, because he had a great big box of them, and I wasn't sure what I was going to use when we came up and got our stuff together. And then Maya, that is also Cha-Cha on Facebook, is Maya. She actually brought stamp carving stuff for us. And that she gave us all a big block for later. And then she gave us these erasers. Where's my other one? Oh, there it is. And I created this goddess and this other mark making. And let me stamp these out on here because I love them. I really do. I love them. The goddess especially because I made it like a shadow. So there's my goddess. And then I love her. I really do. One of the things I had made goodie bags for everyone and put some canvas in the goodie bags, some of that green stuff that I use all the time when I make like fabric tags and stuff. It's like super thick waxed green canvas. And I actually stamped on some of mine and gave everybody a copy of one of the stamps, to put on a threader. Because where's my threader? It should be right here. Because, I have that piece of fabric on mine. It's the same fabric painted on my threader, and I gave everyone one of these in their bag. So after I carved the stamp, I went around and did that. And then this one right here is from Maya, and she carved everybody one of these. And it's a feather, which is really cool. So one of the projects was to, at the end, the video you saw where I'm rushing through all disheveled at the end of the event. I did that live. And the books we put together are a great place to use these things and to gather all the things that we made. I might even add one of the sticks to the cover or the binding because I really just did a sample book there. It was so much fun.
I love them.
What am I missing in added feathers? Still need to add feathers to mine. I just got home from Seattle late last night. You just got home, Patrice? Where have you been?
She took the scenic route.
Thank you, Yolande. Oh. Yeah, spending time in
They're
the
talking
hospital
about
never fun.
There's chat about Judy.
Oh yeah.
She was a very, very sweet soul, and
She was.
I
was
know
honored.
she was somebody that fought very hard.
She did. She was such a fighter, and she had a great attitude. I was honored to have been with her up till the end, before she went into hospice. And I mean, I got to go to chemo with her, live, on FaceTime, and create, visit, hang out. This is from Maya. We all brought gifts for each other, and I had a whole bunch of stuff out. I gave everybody a goodie bag, a paper bag, like a paper envelope with papers in it, and just a variety of things to use during the event. And then we all stuck things on a table. And one of the things that Maya put out was a bunch of stamps. And I love this. I am going to use that on some ATCs in my book, Lexi and I both love rocks, and she brought me this rock, and I started wire wrapping it. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That's going in my book on the spine or on the cover. It's totally going in there. I need to add some beads, and it's so beautiful.
I love it.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Gorgeous. And then Lexi created her project to do with us, to lead, was clay. And it was, to make clay beads or whatever we felt. So I actually created, you're not going to be able to see that. I'm going to use a piece of this. I actually created, and I need to paint some of these. Anthony gave us a piece of copper wire to bake them on. We didn't get them all painted, but I put some textures on there. I made a mushroom that I need to paint. It's got a hole in it.
Cute.
And I had some rune stamps, and I did that, and that's graphite powder. I brushed it all over before it baked, and it looks like a pencil lead. It's pretty awesome. Also graphite powder. Used a stamp to press into that. And there is my goddess stamp, and it's not, I didn't finish painting it. But I just used some ink, some permanent ink, and stamped on the clay before it baked. So that was just really fun. And then I have this one that's got like a thing through the side there, and I could hang something on it. So let's put that over here. And then the first event that we did on Saturday, we actually, and this bead I made here with one of those rune stamps, and I started wiring it up. And that's graphite again. I really like it. Really, really like it. And the graphite feels really cool on them too. Um, so I will definitely be doing that again. So we collected leaves on Saturday for Susan's project and for mine. And I started first by having us do some leaf painting. And what we did was we collected, and they were fresh, of course, and then painted the leaf and used it like a stamp on paper, with another piece of paper over the top of it, little brayer or a Baron to press it down. And we came up with, I think Lexi's were the most amazing, honestly. Lexi has an even mind. Like she wants things measured and kind of, they're more mathematical with her. So she actually really organized her thoughts before stamping them. I was just like all willy-nilly about it. That's me.
That's funny.
I am willy-nilly. You can call me Willie.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Julie has looked on their Amazon and looked to see what's available in the UK,
Uh-huh.
and they cannot get the English walnut. She is asking if an oil base walnut oil base stain possibly do the same thing as Old English?
I think a stain has something like resin in it. Like a chemical, like it smells like chemicals, and it's kind of like, well, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I think you could probably try to mix some yourself with some really heavy walnut crystals and maybe some coconut oil. Or, I mean, I don't know what kind of oil I would use. I don't know what kind is in that. It smells like furniture polish, but it doesn't have that chemical smell that
I
like
think you might get the same effect with the walnut crystals if they're available.
probably, because I think there's walnut crystals in here. This has been around for a very long time, over 100 years. And everybody used to use that on their furniture. And I
Oh,
did when
yeah.
my kids were little. I've always loved that. And sometimes we couldn't afford it. And it was like a treat to get some, for scratches and whatever. But I think you can probably try to make it yourself. And while oil and water won't mix, you would need to use a small amount of the oil first, I would think, and mix it with the walnut crystals and then let it dissolve, like set it off to the side, let them dissolve. Because you're going to have to find a way to get those dissolved in there before you add a little more oil. And then you just put it in like a little jar, I would say. But it needs to be pretty concentrated because you guys saw me putting that on. It will get on your hands too. You saw me putting that on the box, but I want to show you just how dark it is.
Julie's having trouble finding walnut crystals.
Oh no. You guys know I love my walnut crystals.
Yeah,
So,
if it wasn't a liquid,
dark.
Sending liquid across the ocean is not easy.
We could send crystals though.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hey,
glad you could join us. We've just been, she's finished up her lunchbox that she was working on last time. And let's see, we have talked about GDP and we talked about Miriam and wishing her well.
Heavy stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We barely had time to gel plate. Chris, I'm glad you're back. Welcome back. But when we did, what I did was I went on this heavy chipboard and did some stuff. These are some of the leaves that I did. Originally we started on the fabric and I didn't like what was happening on my fabric. I really had wanted to put some gesso on it first, and I didn't. I just went straight to the green. I don't know where it's at right now, honestly. It's got to be here somewhere. So I did it on these, just a few of them. And then the gel printing that I did was to cover some of these things up, and that's the chipboard, so that I could make some tags for our books that we'd found. So sorry, guys. So many ideas in this.
Hi, Estella.
Hey, Estella. Okay, and then we shared all kinds of things with each other too. So we got all kinds of beautiful stuff to add to our book. Oh, there's my stamp when I was first playing with it, when I was making it. Another leaf, you know, and I'll go in and do some ink drawing on that, and, you know, like with a fine liner. It was just really nice to be able to pull together all the things that we made. And this is one of them that Maya gave to us, and she snuck around and took a picture of all of us when we got there and printed those out with our photo. It's a terrible picture of me. They're always terrible. I just don't take good pictures. And made us these licenses, in a creative license. Isn't that cute?
That's adorable.
Little wallets for us, and there's a recipe for a drink here on the back, and these little doodles that she does. Isn't that amazing? She does great work.
Okay, Laura wants to know if you can explain the kind of about the binding that you tried at the retreat, Sharon.
Do you want to do a small version of that? If you guys gather up a few little papers, just to do a small one, I would be more than happy to share. And it's the stab binding. But you know, I can give you a close-up example for you. Would you like to do that? Sounds good. Oh, bye, Colleen. Thank you for coming. Have a great Saturday.
What all will we need to do? Make that?
All I need you to do is grab, these are all from Maya as well. Grab a couple pieces of paper. Well,
okay.
You know, just like and they need to be separate pieces. So you're not going to be folding them in half. They have an edge on them. You know, they're all the same size. So if you want to grab a stack of tags or a stack of index cards, that would be perfect. Like, do you?
Okay, index cards.
Yeah. And this is mine. I didn't get to put everything in here that I wanted to because I was in a hurry, but I'll grab some index cards real quick, okay? Or something like, oh, I've got these right here. I can use those. Okay. We'll just do a small one.
All right. I've got index cards.
And we'll walk through one, you know, slowly here. Put this
Let me
here.
I've got to turn around, so I'll be right back.
Okay, that's fine. Yesterday would have been the perfect day for stab binding. Was it Friday the 13th? I thought today was isn't today the 13th? I'm so confused. Okay, Martha. I love the Japanese stab binding. It's one of my favorites because you can use you can make an 8x10 size art journal if you use the stab binding. It's so cool. I'm gonna get my little pad out here to stab on. So if you have a place to stab, could be a piece of foam or, you know, something you stamp on. This is my stamp thing, but this works really well. Or even just an old magazine works great. So the first thing you're going to want to do is clip your papers together so that they don't come apart. And you're better to clip the top and the bottom so that it doesn't get in the way. I ran through it. Whoa. Sorry, Craft-A-Lanch. That was my cutter. I ran through it so quick at the retreat because I wasn't quite ready, and I just wasn't ready. But we were getting ready to close up the event, and I needed to hurry so everybody could get their book done, to put all of our things in. So you're going to want an awl or a stabby tool, a pokey tool. Grab your awl. Give it your all. Mary helps me with that. Okay. And then some sort of thread. And it can be, it can't be like sewing thread, embroidery thread. You could use anything that's a little bit thicker. It can be like a string of some sort. You don't need very many supplies here. Just, the general binding stuff. Wax thread or embroidery thread. I'm going to use a darker thread so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then you're going to want this like, I don't know, like 4 times the length of your paper, I think. I've never really measured. I just always make sure it's long enough.
How many pages did you use?
It doesn't, you can do any amount you want. Susan did a book like that. But I just did that. So it's just like a little bit, maybe 12, and it's cardstock. So you can use regular paper. That's fine too. Put this over here. So you're going to want your regular binding materials. So your big needle and your thread. Or waxed thread, whatever. So you don't have to double it, but I would, the first time you do this, you might want to double it. You can figure out other ways to do this. There's actually many ways to go about the stab binding once you get the basics down. You can like add things to your spine, like right here. You can put them on the end. It's really fun, actually. And you just, go in within the stitching. So. Oh, yeah. They used a drill on some of them that were so thick. Patrice's and Susan's, I believe. It was great.
They used the drill?
They used the power tool. But Anthony got the drill out for his. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
They were using the drill, like with a teeny tiny bit,
That's awesome.
Yes. Diane said, for anyone looking for walnut inks, Tacinco, and that's the brand I have, sells sets with different colors. I haven't tried the other colors, but I'm sure they're amazing and I would love to have them. And before I got the walnut crystals, I actually had a bottle of the spray. And I don't know, it came in a craft lot or something that I bought. A lot of things that I tried for the first time actually came in a box like that, where I had paid a flat rate and it was just like a bunch of arty surprises, and that's how I got started with embossing powder and things I wouldn't have normally tried to use in my mixed media. And I just think it's fun. Okay. So the next thing you're going to want to do is get a ruler. You don't have to measure these at all, but if you want to, that's fine. So this way. So I'm going to, and when I showed at the retreat, I was showing kind of, you just go in the middle and then and I just eyeballed it. And you're going to want to go about, to be technical, about 1/3 of an inch over. I wouldn't get any closer than that to the edge, because you can go farther over, but that's just going to mean that your spine is going to be there, because what happens is you won't be able to fold it beyond the threads, so it creates a, anyway. So just keep it, 1/3 to a 1/2 inch over. And I'm not even going to measure it this time. I'm going to show you how we did it at the retreat. So we went half. So you're not using your needle yet. You're going to use your awl, just kind of eyeball it. And let me get a little closer than that because my line was uneven. And I'm going to poke through, pick it up, poke it all the way through. I'm going to go about the same distance, about at least a third from the end. Now you could go down further. And I won't put very many stitches in this so you can see. But I'm just kind of lining it up, just eyeballing it. And then down here, once again, about the same distance from the end and from the edge. And like that. I didn't do that there, did I? I'm gonna need to. And then in the middle again, just eyeballing it. Again, in the middle-ish. We did the quick version, really, when I did that live. So, and then I'm going to go one more time in the middle of each, just quickly. And those stitches are pretty far apart. You can put as many or as few as you'd like. I would do at least 5 though, just because otherwise it's just some knots tied in it. Do we have any comments while I'm concentrating? Apparently you can make your own without walnut crystals. Interesting. Trying a new craft, trying to overcome my fear of needles. Well, Chris, I love that. So that means you're doing this with us? I love this idea. I appreciate it. Picked up the Memory Keepers bookbinding tool lately. Very handy. I don't know what that is. Is it one of the boards? Like they have the envelope board and is it one of those?
I watch Scrapbooking with Me, and the lady that's on there, her son and daughter-in-law have developed a little cradle that you use, and
oh yeah,
it is amazing.
Yeah,
you just drop it in there. I mean, it looks like it really works well.
I think Nick the Booksmith has one that she made or had somebody make for her too. It's wood, right? And it's shaped like a V.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen one on that show as well.
I haven't seen one of hers in a long time. Okay, so I'm going to knot this, and it's not as easy to knot wax thread, by the way. Hopefully I have enough here after I doubled it, but okay. So the first thing you're going to want to do, got your front towards you, go to your back. Yeah, back side. And I'm glad you're doing this too. Laura, she's concentrating. Yeah, book cradle. Aha. It has all the markings and the whole. Oh, I did see that. It's like a thing that measures it for you, huh? Okay, so
I don't have a measuring tool, but what I did do is I've got a piece of graph paper that is kind of a cheat sheet.
That would work.
And I've got different, depending on the size of my journal, I've got it marked where I make my holes for those.
So you're going to want to go through, I guess I did that wrong, didn't I? You're going to want to go through the front. You don't really need the knot because you're about to make one. Bring it around to the back, and I want you to make a knot. Your thread is going to be on this edge here, and we're going to keep them all on that edge. But all your sort of twists are going to be in the back, and or on the side, depending on where you knot it. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to knot this up just to get it anchored. And one more time, don't forget it's a square knot that you want so it doesn't slip. And then I'll do a close-up so you can see, assuming that I know how to tie a knot. It's because it's wax thread that I'm fighting with it. If you don't have enough thread, you can always start from the other end and tie it in the middle as well. So there are different ways to play with this, you know. So you're going to anchor here. You're going to have your knot in the back. Keep it from going through. And you'll see why in a minute, because we're going to be pushing that down. Okay. Then I want you to take your needle from the side your knot is on, put it through, and don't pull it all the way. What you're going to do is pull your needle through that loop and give it a good tug. Should have used a different thread, really. Should have used my embroidery thread. I actually got a bookbinding kit for the event, so I had a bunch of different rolls of thread for everyone, and they weren't waxed. But so what's going to happen is you're going to give that a tug, and it'll fall into place when you get to your second one. And you're going to pull it tight and make sure that little spot right there kind of lines up with the knot. Now, if you put your knot to the edge, your thing is going to be on the edge. Okay. And then you're going to go back through, same kind again, through that hole. And you're going to put your needle through that loop, tug it tight, and wiggle it down until you have that, once again, right there. It's technically a blanket stitch. This is the easiest binding, in my opinion. Oh, Laura said it. I'm going to start experimenting, quilting with invisible thread. Last time I played with it, didn't go well. Trying to invisible as in fishing line. Back through the back. Once again, pull that through the loop and then pull it tight and then wiggle it down. And I'm only struggling with it because it's wax thread. So you won't if it's not. Okay, and then put that through. Bring your needle through the loop once again. And wiggle it down. Now, you could have started on the other side and you would end up with this line on this side. You just always want to make sure that wherever you start, you continue on the same side. So if you like the look of that, it can be moved depending on which side you start. Bring it through, and then I'll show you how to knot it to get it finished as well. So with non-wax thread, what I had them do was do a full loop at each end to ensure that it was secure. But with the wax thread, it doesn't really want to fit through. All right, we're almost there. Going through the same side. How's yours looking, Lisa?
I'm at the bottom. I'm waiting.
Sorry, I'm missing comments.
No, that's okay.
Guys.
Yours is longer. But you're going to be surprised when you see what I did.
Okay. You really can play with this a whole lot. And that's what, if you can get your needle through, I mean, that's what I love about it. I'm just going to, darn it. So I'm going to cut this off because it's almost there. And I'm just going to work it out. So I'm going to bring it through here. Let's see if I can do this. Bringing it through like I would have. Both pieces. Darn it. Okay. I'm going to knot it right here to show you guys. Okay. So you're going to want to just knot it like you normally would, or you can loop it through one more time and then tie it off. With wax thread, I can probably get away with one, but I'm not going to. I like to make things difficult. It's my job. It's what I do. It's what I live for. Did you see the new Little Mermaid?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
So Bill, I go in the bedroom the other day. He's going to love this. I can't even do it. I go in the bedroom and there he is. He's just started the new Little Mermaid all by himself in the room. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I just thought I'd see if this was any good." So there he was watching The Little Mermaid by himself, guys. So I said, "Well, I'll watch it with you. Of course I will." I mean, I could recite that movie because my kids grew up on it. I cannot do this. Come on. Because it's wax thread. It's all thick and weird, doing its thing. Okay. So you want to make sure you pull that tight and make sure your knot's on the same side and you have a book, but only if I cut off the end. There we go. Watch me. I will. I'll do it. Sure. And I'll do it unevenly too. Oh my gosh. There we go. And I have a book. Go ahead and trim your sides up. So you can get really creative with this. Seriously. Think about all the things that you could weave through here while you're at it. So I keep my thread in here and I put two magnets right there in the lid so I don't have to go fishing for it. But if you think about all the things you could have sewn that over, you just include it when you're doing your stitches. You guys get it? Oh, bye, Charmaine. Thank you so much for being here.
Bye.
I know we're kind of all over the place today, but there was some projects to finish up and you know, it was like last time we did that too. It was kind of a little all over the place, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you got it, everyone? I'm going to try again. Sonia may involve much swearing. Springy. What's being springy? You have so much metallic thread to use up. I would love to get a Baby Lock Shashiko machine to play with. Well, that sounds technical. I don't do technical.
Julie, my experience with metallic thread is it is easily it just does
Knotted.
not say twisted. You know, as soon as you start trying to manipulate it, it comes undone.
And it breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So I think I showed you everything except for the papers from our trip. Oh, and Susan brought and let us all pick out a butterfly and some tags. So, well, there was just a lot of that going on. We did a lot of trading and we had brought each other gifts and it was really great. So,
that's beautiful.
Including that. And it's thick, heavy watercolor paper. Like that's the heaviest watercolor paper I've ever felt. It's like a board. And they're sewing on them. It's and gold leaf. It's beautiful. I think it was a class she took. Was it a class, Susan? I think she's lurking in the background.
It's fabulous.
It says. So let me grab this. And what I'm going to have to do is create another book and put them together because, you know, like I said, I hurried to do my book. I didn't have time, so I just grabbed a couple papers and did like this really thin version of it. And I even bound my palette. I gave everybody one of these palettes. So that was fun. Little gel printing on our own. index card, roll-offs. It's good to include everything, and then we can go back in and add the elements that we got on our trip. But that was all I got in mine at the moment. Some of the prints that I did. And there's my canvas. And then I went back over it with a white Posca pen. And maybe
that's cool
to be on my cover. That's that green waxed fabric. And I'm going to do one of these leaves. I stamped on it and you can barely see it, but there is writing if you look closely. And that one was flat, so I think I'll end up using it. And I think that's all. So what should we work on? Should I make a tag real quick or something and use my stamps? Oh, I know. That is the plan, actually. Wish I knew where I had another piece of that. Let's make
I like that blue. I like that piece. It looks like water, wiggling water.
This? It's I gave everybody a file folder to put their papers in. And that was a roll off, basically. So what I think I'll do is I had a piece of that green fabric here, extra. Don't know what I did with it. But let's use a file folder instead.
Katie said everything looks nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I just did some of these, and that was Louise Heinzel's style on the matte photo paper. So maybe I'll make some little, and that's a squishy one. Look at how awesome. I love all the oxidation. Oxidization. Is that too many syllables? So maybe I'll use one of those.
That's got kind of a spooky feel to it.
It does.
It does.
It does.
That'd be cool with some ghost on it.
So I will put this on the file folder, and then I'll cut it off, or I'll grab a piece of cardstock over here. I mean, why waste a file folder, right? Cardstock. Just winging it here, guys. We are winging it. Got through those projects pretty quickly, so we've got just this much time left to play, and I'm gonna. So what I'm gonna do first is take that away because it's so white. I want to glue this down so it's nice and, well, it's thicker. And then I shall cut it up. So let's do this. I'm just going to use this kind of glue. I've got
Sonia, we like winging it.
I wing it quite regularly. I free flow. I freestyle. I'm freestyling. That's what I'm doing. Isn't that what rappers do? I didn't listen to rap, but you know, I'm trying to be cool. I'm freestyling. Could put this on corrugated cardboard too. That would be nice. And then peel off some of the back and make it like tin.
Very true.
That would be nice. I should have thought of that. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I hit it with my hand. Okay.
Sandy said, "You're so hip, Sharon. Just don't break one."
I am hip. I am so cool.
We hippy dippy.
Hippy dippy. That's right. What was it that I said earlier? Wingy dingy. What was I saying? I didn't even remember. A lot of gibberish. That's what it is. I do speak gibberish. Okay. So this is oxide sprays with some walnut ink spray that I made instead of water, because you know the walnut or the oxide sprays are activated by water to get that to happen. And instead of using water, I actually spray them with this. So it also gives it an extra dark, sort of aged feeling. And I like it like that. You know me. You know I do. Okay. So before I cut any of that off, maybe I should add some little pieces of this. This is making
Darcy, I like
board,
that.
guys.
Winging it real good.
Yeah. Whip it.
Yep, that's exactly what she said. Whip it.
Whip it real good. Okay, so I'm just kind of tearing some pieces here. I don't want to cover anything that's special, but what I'll do is I'll masterboard this out when I'm done, cut it into pieces after I stamp on it. So I kind of want to get some Halloween things happening here, or some colors at least that could be used Halloween style. I'm going to use a glue stick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We cool. What? So, glue stick. That's quicker. You know what I wish they did with the embossing pen? I wish they made it like the invisible purple ink. So when you use it, you don't have to be turning your stuff to see where you've been. Because it's nice to draw with that. Really.
Do you think it has anything to do with the color you were applying it on?
No, it's always clear. I mean, it always does that. I like using the embossing marker, and you can use other oil pens too, I know, but I just don't, I don't know which ones. It needs to be something that stays wet for a minute. But it would be really nice if they did the disappearing purple, whatever they put in this, into those so that you can see where you've been while you're drawing your design out. Just be smart, I think.
Maya S. said they do have a black embossing pen.
Do they? Interesting. I did not know that. So I'm just lining up the straight edge with some of the straight edges if I decide that I don't want to. Oh, this side's cool too. Maybe so. Yep.
Sonia said she's working on a tag challenge and for 40K lazy masterboards.
You're making 40,000 of them? I'm sorry, what? What?
We need more explanation.
Yeah, we do.
Sonia, explain.
Explain yourself.
Lucy.
Yeah.
You've got some splaining to do.
Okay.
Can I go to the NERT now?
Yeah, no, you don't need to go to the NERT for that. You're okay.
Now, if I go to NERT, I won't want to cook supper, and I think somebody's getting hungry.
Uh-oh.
I've heard some rustling coming from the kitchen.
Can you hear your husband's stomach from there?
No, but I heard him pacing, going back and forth. He's getting hungry, I guess.
Yeah, I'm planning on, mine asked for a tater tot casserole, believe it or not. I've only made one in my life, but I was saying, what do you want me to order for the groceries? And he was like, you know that thing you did with the tater tots? No, not gourmet at all. Yeah. So that's apparently what I'm making. But then I suggested that maybe I try to do it biscuits and gravy style. So I got sausage. I'm going to fry it up and make like a sausage gravy. And then I'm going to use that gravy in a pan. And I'm just kind of trying to find places to add this and that. I'm going to use that and line tater tots up over it. And so it's like hash browns almost. And then I said no cheese because that'd be weird. And he said, why not? So I was like, okay, I'll put some cheese on, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the cheese with the gravy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
For me, I could do the sausage and the hash browns.
Yeah.
and cheese, but I don't know about the gravy.
Yeah.
If I was going to
I
have
was feeling that
gravy
way
and
too.
sausage, I'd want biscuits.
Right. I was feeling it too. But, that's what he wants, so that's what he gets.
Julie, I love cheese, and my youngest
I
daughter
do
lives
too.
off of cheese. She loves cheese. Her room is the color of cheese.
Her room is cheese?
Her room looks like the color of macaroni and cheese. She
Did she do that on purpose?
Yes, she loves yellow as her color. And when
I
she was
see.
allowed to pick the color for her room, she kept taking it back for them to tint it until they got it to look exactly like a slice of cheese. I have a picture of her standing with a slice of cheese
How old was
against
she?
the
Wait,
wall.
I love cheese, but I've never heard of such a thing. How old was she?
She was in high school. She was in high school, and
So
I
was
asked
it
her recently if she wanted to paint her, if she wanted us to paint a room. And because she's starting to, like different colors a little bit. And she said, no, no, I don't.
so was it Velveeta cheese?
No, it was more like a slice of Kraft, like a
That's
single
what I
slice of
mean.
cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, like a plastic cheese, right?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
American cheese.
Uh-huh. I don't
Oh,
want to cover
Eddie, I'm
any up
so
all this good
sorry.
stuff.
We eat enough at our house to make up for it.
What happened? Is he lactose
He said he's
intolerant?
sorry. He can't eat cheese. He likes cheese, but it doesn't like
Oh,
him.
oh, that's really sad. I do love me some cheese. We always have like at least 4 different kinds of cheese in the fridge. 5, 6 right now. 7 maybe. Everything from Gorgonzola, which I have been making my favorite salad with the pears and the Gorgonzola and the walnuts, to pepper jack. I mean, just every kind. I even have like shredded queso right now because I got it for the retreat for the soup.
Zoe makes she has gotten on a kick where she makes like a baked brie, and we put figs, and she insisted that it needed garlic, so it got
Oh
fresh
yeah,
garlic and
good,
figs, and it
good
was delicious.
stuff. Yeah, I bet.
But I mean, she almost always puts garlic on it. She loves garlic.
I do too. Zoe and I we have the same palate, garlic and cheese. Could have that on everything.
Yes,
Except for
and
biscuits and
bread,
gravy. That's weird.
those are the important things to her.
Yes. Yes. That's what's
I mean,
important.
she does eat other things. She's gotten a little bit better about what she'll eat, a little more adventuresome, and that's helped a whole lot. But I mean, she pretty much makes her own meals. She's old enough to take care of herself.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's lucky to live at home still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine. It's fine for now.
So I'm not worried about making it look grand on a whole, because it'll be cut up. So it'll be like serendipitous the way it gets cut up and kind of what shows and what's on the edge and what's here or there. I mean, that's the fun in doing tags like this or ATCs like this, masterboard. I'm finding that I really don't want to cover any of this good oxidization stuff like that. I don't want to.
Eddie, you're right. It is terrible not to be able to eat cheese or have dairy.
The more aged the cheese, the less lactose. Wow. Sonia's running for cheese sticks. You guys, I can tell a funny cheese story. I might have told it. I know I did at the retreat. My husband still tells this story. I'll wait till Sonia comes back. It is a funny story, though.
I love aged cheese too. When Bill was little, his mom and dad would order these huge blocks of cheese, and we'd have to get them during the winter time. And up until my kids were probably 10, 12 years old, we were able to get it, and they would buy cases of cheese and have it sent from Wisconsin for
That's
their little
great.
cheese loving grandchildren. And I said something about, well, if I had a slicer, we could make this go further. So for Christmas that year, my father-in-law went and found me a fancy slicer, and I was slicing everybody's cheese. It was funny.
Better than cutting everybody's cheese, because you don't want to be the cheese cutter at the party.
No, we don't want to be
cut the
cutting no
cheese
cheese.
Sorry.
That was too
I don't know what
easy.
just happened.
That was organic.
Yeah, very organic. Okay, so what else do I want to add to this? I've got stencils, I've got stamps, I've got little bits of paper. So if I think about it like a grid,
What about doodling?
I could do that. I was kind of thinking, since I got this new acrylic ink, if I could figure out how to make some nice splatters with it, that would be fun, but I think that would be last. All
Eddie,
right.
he was a sweet man. When I burned up the motor for it, he came over. He was an engineer for Western Electric, and so he loved working on things. And when he found out that I had burned up the motor on the cheese slicer,
You did not.
he come over and he looked at it, took pictures, and the next week he came and he fixed it. He got the part and he fixed it. So
that's so
it's still kicking. But it's really nice, you can shape. I mean, it's a nice slicer. You can shape beef with it.
I was looking for
And we can't get the cheese anymore. The family, their kids didn't want to do it, so it finally closed down after being in business for 40 some years.
Yeah, I like any kind of cheese. Any kind. The funny thing is, when Bill and I were dating, and I know Lexi, Maya, Susan, y'all heard this because I talked about it there for whatever reason we were talking about cheese. I talk about cheese a lot, apparently. It's a theme in my life, apparently.
Here you go. Sweet dreams are made of
cheese.
Cheese.
Were you going to say that? Did you miss that opportunity? So, Bill and I were dating, and it was like one of the first times he came and stayed over, right? Because that's me. Anyway, as I tell all my sins, he came to stay the night, and we were just hanging out watching TV. I think it was the next day we were hanging out watching TV. He had the day off, I had the day off. We were just hanging out, and I had gone to the kitchen for some snacks, and all of a sudden I whip out, I mean, it was a few minutes later, we had been sitting there, and all of a sudden I whip out some cheese sticks from like under the cover. I said, cheese? And he was like, what just happened here? He didn't understand what was happening. Like, where did that come from? Well, I had gone to the kitchen and put cheese in my back pocket, like cheese sticks, so it would warm up. And because cheese should be served at room temperature, and cheese sticks out of the fridge, I swear, try this. I swear, try it. Tastes different if you have them at room temperature or slightly warm. So all of a sudden I whipped out some cheese.
Eddie said this was a cheesy booty call.
Yeah. It was so funny. And he still tells that story.
Yeah, Eddie, things were getting hot. The cheese was at room temperature.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, and that's that. I
That's
told you my
funny.
secrets.
I had a friend, her growing up, her mom and dad did not buy cheese. They just weren't big cheese eaters. And when she would come, she'd come to my house about every weekend. And my mom said, you know, that girl eats a lot of cheese.
She
And
didn't
I
get
had to
any at
tell her
home.
that, you know, she'd never had cheese, so she'd come to our house, and my mom couldn't hardly believe it.
Huh.
It's funny though.
Funny.
We used to hoard it. I mean, you know, there were 4 children, and we'd
You'd
fight
hide the cheese.
over cheddar cheese. You know, when it come in the house, it was like, you know, a bank. Everybody wanted it.
You guys were playing hide the cheese growing up.
A-
That's
And I
pretty
will tell
bad.
you that I had the best hiding place. I have a table that my dad had made for my mother when they first got married, and
Uh-huh.
it has a Lazy Susan that sits on top of it. So it has a box underneath it for that Lazy Susan to balance on. And I used to get up under there and hide all kinds of things. I hid oranges, I hid cheese. My mom got
I've
down
never
there,
seen a kid
dust the legs of
hide
the
food
table
like
one
that.
time, and I got my butt beat when I got home because she found all my stash.
I can't believe you were hiding fruit. Wish my kids were eating fruit like that.
Yeah, I'd hide oranges. I would hide oranges. I wouldn't hide anything else, but I would hide
That's
oranges because
so funny.
everything would get gone fast. I
That's
mean, when my
so
brother
funny.
was still at home, we had a can of Charlie chips that normally would last a whole week. Him and my sister got into them one Friday night watching late night movies and ate every one of them. My mom was mad.
Okay, Diane said I sat on polymer clay to warm it up, but never cheese. Okay, Diane, that is how the conversation started because Lexi brought the polymer clay for us for that, and she had been for an hour. She had been working all this clay so other people didn't have to, and I sat on my. I took it and sat on mine. That's why we were talking about the cheese.
That's funny.
I swear, really, try it. Out of lurk to laugh at hiding oranges and sitting on cheese. Don't forget that. No, that was my favorite, Rusty Hinge and Ground Espresso, but I do love those 2 colors as well. I was just telling Lisa all about the sprays, the oxide sprays that are so, I only have a few of them, but they actually make bigger bottles. And I only had the 3 little ones. And actually, Tracy, are you there, Tracy? She sent me one. So I had small bottles, and then when I ordered this set, they came in the larger bottles, and I was pretty excited. And it was the linen. Hold on. I did this because of Louise's video. It came with tea dye, antique linen, and walnut stain. And I would love to have this in Ground Espresso, Rusty Hinge, and maybe Vintage Photo, or I don't know, in my colors, basically. I have the blues in the little bottles, but I would like to try all of them in the darker colors because they create another sort of color when you get them wet. If you haven't done this, and this is where I might use this. So if I do these ends, kind of adding and kind of getting some liquid on those so that maybe they'll change. There's some glue on there still, so we'll see. And then also this will dry lighter, giving it a little bit of, knocking back the white, because I don't have a lot of white on my stuff, and maybe cream, but an ATC, I definitely wouldn't have any white. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. No white, no white.
Eddie says
Okay.
that the sprays are addictive.
I do have a lot of other sprays. Seth's, I think, are some of my favorite because they're huge and they're very, there's a lot of pigment and they're very stainy. I should have used the folder, guys. You were supposed to remind me.
Sonia said she sprays hers with coffee.
Oh, yeah. I did that chicory too, and it's a different color even.
Wasn't it more of a brownish?
No, it was more golden. It had more of a golden hue to it. It had like a, here, because I put some in a dropper.
And Diane said that she used to warm stuff up under her arms.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Her
Or you just
underarms.
put it in your back pocket. I mean, this is what the chicory looks like. And I put a little vinegar in here, but it's that color where this is, see the difference?
Oh, yeah.
That's the walnut. The coffee is somewhere in between this, but this has kind of a golden look to it. See, I don't even have a white spot here. It's a lot lighter, but it's almost like the antique. I would say like the antique linen, or it's got like a lighter. I could probably make it stronger, but a lighter look to knock back that white. I don't want to waste that. So, Megan, what are you doing, buddy? He never comes in here. I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to take my book and kind of blot that up. Is that your family screaming for food? Because mine's about to.
Yeah.
We have been going shorter of late, but most
okay.
Of the time. And this time it's a little long. Are you guys all okay? Be a few more minutes. How did gorgeous get into this sentence? I think chicory would be dark. That's, yeah, when you and maybe I didn't make it very strong, but I used it in the same ratio as coffee. So that's how it worked out. Oh, how did gorgeous get into your sentence, Julie? I see. Laura, yum. That's so yummy. I discovered that by accident. They're hard to find unless you order online, and I don't have the funds. What are you talking about, Sherry?
The good news is there are alternatives to, if you can't afford the sprays, there are other ways to make sprays.
I know that Fran did a series lately making her own inks. You could use a lot of different water-soluble mediums or even food coloring to make spray. And I even got, because I wanted to try to make some oxide spray. And this is titanium dioxide oxide powder, and it's natural. And I got it on Etsy, and I ordered a few colors, but this I really want to try in a spray bottle to see if I can't make my own oxide sprays, because I mean, it is oxide. That must be what he uses. Oh, it's leaking too. Oh, I forgot to put holes. I know how to make these. I mean, or the Lindy's at least, with the pigment in the bottom. That would be your walnut ink. Look at me spread it out.
Maybe we could do a live on
maybe
different ways.
I think that would be great.
Sprays.
Maybe we should from
time to time, but maybe it could be a focus.
Yeah, maybe we will do that. Just have like an event where I mean, because you guys know I like to experiment. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Thank you. If I'm missing anything that I don't see, please put it in all caps, okay? If it's important. Would you guys like me to do that next time? We could do like an experimental, we'll make some things, do that. Maybe I could see if I can figure out how to make this. Or I have some other things that I do want to experiment with. So we could totally do that. I make what I can using dyes that are powder. You can also use fabric dye, guys. You can use the powdered fabric dye and just use a tiny bit. Think about how you get like for like $6, you get a packet full of powder. I mean, and you get a lot. That would be a great way to do that, I think, because you get a lot of color for that, and you can use as much or little powder as you want in your little spray bottle. I just need to get some spray bottles. That's all. So yeah, let's do that. Yeah, your audio got weird again, Lisa. I think that it probably is the universe telling us it is almost time to wrap up. And what I'm going to do after this is, because it doesn't fit in there, I'll take it to my cutter. So I'm going to splatter some gold on it too, I think. Take it to my cutter, cut it into equal parts, and have some little cards, little kind of ATCs that aren't measured. That should be fun. And then I'll probably add more.
Says her Dollarama has fabric dyes.
Oh, well, definitely go grab those. And remember, you can use walnut crystals in, like, say you get a bright red or a bright blue. You can also add some walnut crystals to get it kind of a different tone, like a tertiary color, or a little white would make it have a white undertone and be a pastel color. There's different ways to go about changing the color if you don't want primaries. So it's just like paint, but I like to add a little brown to everything because, dirt. Dirt. Grungy.
If I use dirt from my backyard, it would have a mineral in it. It would sparkle.
Really?
Because it's got lots of mica in it.
Huh.
I mean, if you're walking along and the sun is shining, you see silver flecks.
Huh.
So I should try that theory to see if my dirt works.
Laura said it sounded like you had a peg in your nose. She did that earlier, and I told her it sounded like she was in a tin can. But peg in her nose, that's a way better description for that. I'm going to put us on a double screen here so we can do our closing up. I'm going to read a few comments. Patrice said they use titanium oxide in Behr paint because it's a pure white. Let's see. Coffee
I love Behr paints. That's all we use.
Coffee and red food coloring looks like avocado dye paper. That's good to know. Yeah, adding brown or, adding a touch of brown to things really gives it that, secondary color that we all like, I think. I mean, I don't use primaries. I never did get my shibori dyeing this year. Sad. Diane, I tried that with papers many years ago. Just different ways to fold paper and dip in dye, and it was a lot of fun. So if you didn't get to do it for fabric, you could easily sit at your desk and do, like a little puddle on a piece of plastic and just play with some paper and do it. It's really fun. Let's see. Everyone to Lisa's house to dig.
Come on over. There's plenty of room. lots of wilderness.
Laura said hers has a lot of clay. I always thought it would be fun to go out and grab clay and make my own. I don't have a kiln though. I mean, I guess I could make that
it's too. It's red hard clay. But if you go on our back lot, it was excavated to build the road that runs beside our house. And so they got down to what is like a sandstone. So you might pick up something that looks like a huge rock, but if you start picking at it, there's just like layers and layers of just little, very, very soft. It probably could be made into clay easily because that's what it looks like. It's kind of grayish white.
Sherry said Bubble painting is fun. We did that recently, Sherry.
We did.
We did. It was a couple months ago. And we had so much fun doing it. And I ended up buying bubbles to put my different colors in. And so that I would have the fun wand. It was so much fun.
Oh,
Sorry,
glue
go ahead.
clay. That would be, I wouldn't know what to do with that.
What?
Diane said one house they built had solid blue clay.
Oh, I've
What a
seen
nightmare
that.
to work with. I bet nothing would grow in it.
It's like a gray blue, and but it's blue. I absolutely have seen that. And I think it was on a show that I saw it. And it's really good to pack things to make it watertight, actually, because it's a really fine powder. Yeah, Julie, I know the earth is red in Australia. There's a lot of red bush out there, like out
Ours,
of town.
ours is more compacted. It looks like when I see stuff on TV, you know, when people are in Australia, the dirt looks a lot like granular, and ours is like so it's solid. It packs very easily. So it takes a lot to get grass to grow on it. Trust me.
Julie, I'm really glad you told me that there were that many seasons of the show that I've been watching, because now I will watch the last episode available to me, knowing that I will be able to watch that. I wanted to mention that. I feel so much relief knowing I don't have to say goodbye to my new friends. I know that's weird, but that's how I've been going to sleep every night. And while I've had broken ribs and been sick and whatever, that's what I've been doing. So it's really funny. Julie said her yard is I thought she said complicated.
She said it's compact. It is compacted.
We had to bring in truckloads of mushroom manure to get it workable again.
I bet they did.
You guys,
Because
go ahead.
it's just the difference in where you're at.
Eddie, I heard that. Eddie. Hi, Wendy. I'm so glad
I wasn't saying it out loud.
Wendy, I saw that you were at the live that I did at the retreat, and then I couldn't, for some reason, go back in and watch any of the live chat. And I don't know if that's a setting or, I mean, sometimes it happens. Yeah, they call the wilderness the bush out there, Eddie. And you're right. I did say it. It's about the red bush.
Okay. It might be time to go.
Yeah, I think it is. Wendy,
we might need to just come on out of the bushes and go on home.
Yeah. Wendy, I'm so glad you made it. But unfortunately, we're at the end. We did have a lot of fun and we did a lot of things today. Our box is drying nicely. Oh, I love it. It still needs a little, I'm still feeling something else right here. Oh, I love it.
We love you too, Eddie.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here. You guys are great. And thanks for letting us know. It was fun. I always worry when I'm all over the place like this. And we're not doing a focused project. It was a blast. Let's experiment next time. I love that idea. And you all, Darcy almost messaged Eddie because I said that. I'm going to have messages on my phone.
Yes, you're going to have messages.
You guys are all awesome. I just love your faces and I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't seen it from the beginning, I recommend going back and checking out all the different things that we did. And you guys have a fabulous weekend. I'll be mushroom hunting tomorrow, I hope. So we will see you all later. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.